fleet ships were the embodiment of each nation's ingenuity, courage, and faith. And they sent us to the stars in search of a new home. As we raced skyward, we carried aloft the hopes and dreams of those left behind.
Civilization Beyond Earth is the follow-up to strategy gem Civilization V and the spiritual successor to the classic Alpha Centari. Now, I've never played Alpha Centari, but I have been playing Civilization games since their third installment. So when I first saw Beyond Earth, I thought it might end up being nothing more than a blown-up texture swap of Civ 5. Luckily for us all, Firaxis is better than that. They take full advantage of this game's theme of space colonization in order to make a multitude of clever gameplay changes which make themselves apparent even before the first turn of the game. Beyond Earth now allows for a form of faction customization with pre-game decisions. In addition to a civilization's characteristic leader trait, the player is given an option of a secondary trait, an early game start bonus, and a decision of which unit or building will help your space colony's first city start out on its path to dominance. These starting decisions improve Civilization's historically mundane early game by allowing a wider range of decisions to be made as soon as possible. You may still find a few turns here and there where nothing happens, but it's severely reduced when you can start off with a worker and immediately get to work building some infrastructure. As your civilization expands and builds, you will be given side quests and quest decisions, which provide even more bonuses. These are excellent additions to the formula, which fill otherwise empty space with the pursuit of small goals. Decisions provide a dizzying abundance of improvements, allowing the player to feel as though they are accomplishing something and making meaningful progress with every turn. Melding seamlessly with these quests and decisions is Beyond Earth's affinities, which are ideological paths for the player's colonial people to follow. Certain decisions, quests, and technologies will increase alignment to one of three affinities. There is Purity, a conservative position which desires humans to remain as they naturally formed on Earth. Then there is Harmony, which seeks for humans to evolve in tune with the factors of the colonized planet. Finally, there is Supremacy, which believes humanity needs to use technological assistance and modification to withstand any environment. Once a level of alignment is achieved, yet another stat bonus will be granted according to the affinity's characteristics. These affinities also add a bit of flavor to the otherwise standard civs. Going down any of those paths will result in unlocking different units with different abilities. Furthermore, it'll change the looks of your cities and unlock affinity-specific building and tile improvements, all of which yield powerful bonuses themselves. I understand that the word bonus may be getting a bit repetitive this far into the review, but understand that Civilization Beyond Earth is quite simply bursting with bonuses at every corner. No matter where you look, you'll be getting +1 production over here and +1 food growth over there. And the best example of this is found inside the complete overhaul of the social policy system, here called Virtues. Once an amount of culture is produced, you can pick from 4 virtue paths, one for military, another for growth, one for science, and another for production. In Civ 5, it was best to go down one path at a time, but Beyond Earth encourages exponential growth. Once a certain amount of virtues in one path are unlocked, a bonus perk is provided. Furthermore, if you unlock enough equally leveled virtues on multiple paths, this will also grant a bonus perk. This means there is both a vertical and horizontal progression to keep in mind. This leads to an immense amount of possibilities and opportunities for stacking up of these virtues and all that they provide. Unfortunately, not all advancements are so well thought out. The tech tree has been thrown out in favor of a tech web. As opposed to the linear progression that the historical setting of Civilization called for, the distant future requires a bit more openness and flexibility. Now, a player's technologies start out in a center and progress outward on a path they choose, or multiple paths if they prefer. While I admire the greater strategic complexity that a variety of paths offers, this is done at the expense of accessibility and a sense of direction. If you do not have a plan and understanding of the tech web before you start the game, then the myriad of decisions and options available can be very overwhelming. I can see this turning a lot of newcomers off of the game, which is unfortunate because I believe what makes a lot of Civilization games stand out from their competition is their accessibility. It seems a bit excessive to have newcomers have to build laser comm satellites and worry about orbital duration periods even though they may not have any context of how they'll play in the wider game.
As is expected, the game does have tutorial pop-ups from a cleverly acronymed AI advisor, and if need be, the Civilopedia informs the player of every game concept that exists, provided the player feels like taking a break and doing some old-fashioned reading. While it's more than most strategy games give, the teaching supplies seem underwhelming. As there's no full tutorial, the advisor is the best teacher you have, but he only explains concepts and doesn't provide any direction or goal. While I agree that the best way to learn is through experience and practice, a single game of Civ can last quite a few hours. If you find out you made a mistake 100 turns ago, and as a result will lose the game, it can feel like a huge waste.
While I will maintain that this is a serious failing, this probably won't be seen as much of an issue for veterans of Civilization games. While new players may be wondering simple questions such as, how do I play? Returning players will be asking questions such as, how do I win?
To that, Beyond Earth has 5 victories to strive for. Other than the expected conquest victory, Beyond Earth's victory conditions revolve around constructing a wonder of some sort, followed by achieving a goal involving that wonder. The paths of Purity and Supremacy must build a warp gate. Purity civs need to take refugees from Earth and settle them on the New World, while Supremacy must send military units to Earth in order to undergo some liberating. Harmony involves building a mind flower to communicate with the planet, which is evidently sentient, while a 4th Affinity Neutral victory involves building a beacon to commune with an intelligent alien civilization. These 2 victories only have the player waiting a 20-turn period as opposed to achieving a goal, which is fairly anticlimactic and somewhat ill-balanced. Furthermore, these victories all feel too similar due to their reliance on building a wonder. While these victories are nice ideas and go well with the affinities, they leave the endgame with much to be desired.
Despite these stumbling blocks, Civilization Beyond Earth is an immensely clever evolution over the Civilization 5 formula. All of its new features open up a dizzying amount of strategic depth and openness. While this does come at the cost of Civilization's characteristic accessibility, returning fans of the series will find much to be happy with. I am.
Our journey through deep space was long and quiet. And it is finally over. Now we look upon our new world for the first time. On these alien shores, our destiny waits. A new beginning for mankind.